Ooh, in the
Little
background
animations
there?
behind the thing. I wonder how you
Can you
three.
add drop shadows and borders like this? I like that
It's really
background
clean.
animation that he did.
Oh,
That's
it's
really
actually
cool.
behind the
Yeah, it's behind the
feed as
logo.
well.
Oh, is Cyric in chat? Cyric's
Yeah.
always. Oh, he's in chat. Yeah, let us
Oh,
know.
nice one.
Let us know how you did
I
this.
want to know if I'm right.
Because dude, we picked a lot of clean ones because we really love the clean look, and you nailed it.
Senpai, your wish is my command. Welcome back to the channel, everybody. Welcome to Live Streamline, here where we help you start streaming, give you everything you need so that way you can start streaming right. I've actually had a lot of people ask me this question: how on earth did I make my little rotating feed border animation on my stream? I figured I'm just gonna make a video on it and post it to the YouTube channel, because I probably answer this question once a week. If you guys liked this video, if you found it helpful, do me a huge solid and hit that like button. One, it lets me know that you guys like this video and so I can make more like it in the future. Two, it helps YouTube know that you like the video and helps push it to other people as well. If you want to see more videos like this, hit subscribe, and if you have any questions, feel free to drop them in the comments below or ask me live on Twitch, link in the description below. Without further ado, let's hop on over into the explanation for how I did it, as well as a tutorial on how you guys can make it for yourself. So before we actually start making the little border that goes around the rotating feed, first, I want to show you guys exactly the process for what this is. So pretend like this little black square right here is your scene in OBS. What I do is I have a video that is right here in its own scene. Then on top of this video that is looping in OBS, it's only about 10 to 20 seconds long, I have the Alpha Gaming rotating feed on top of it. And over on the other side, I have the logo widget provided by Sam Woodhall that counts my subs per each stream. And this is the scene that I call my IRL extras, because they're all extras for my IRL scene. Now, this entire thing is using what's called nested scenes. I have a whole video on it. The card will be up in one of the top corners if you guys want to check it out and see exactly what that is. Essentially though, the TLDR is that it is a scene inside of another scene. So basically in my just chatting or IRL scene, I have multiple nested scenes stacked on top of each other that make what you guys see. However, it looks like it's just one piece, but it's multiple pieces put together. So the next nested scene on top of this is going to be the webcam. Now, what I do is I have the webcam have a filter on it, and this filter crops out the part that I want to show. So it looks like this. So if I was to turn off the IRL extra scene, it would actually look like this. The whole webcam would be here, but it would just be a blank hole underneath. But underneath it is, you know, this thing that you see here. And then what I do on top of that is I make a little border that goes around the edges of all of this and adds a little bit of a drop shadow so it looks like it's popping off the front. Here, I'll show you what I mean. So final product will look something similar to this. This is a very, very rough mock-up, but that's the general process. So the first thing that we're going to do is we're actually going to make the border. That's the very first piece that we need. So I'm going to go with something a little bit different than what I have. I'm just going to do one really long bar that's going to have all the information on it. So we're going to start off with the rounded rectangle tool here, and we're going to draw this black rectangle like so. Then what we're going to do is we're going to click on it and then change it from being filled to only having a stroke. And then we're going to increase the stroke just a little bit and push G to go into the gradient, and then go over here to context, click stroke. And then what we can do is we can actually drag this around, so that way we can have kind of a gradient. I'm more of a gradient guy. If you guys don't like gradients, you don't have to use them. But I think we'll go with like a red color scheme for this. I think we're gonna go a dark red to a lighter red, something like this. And you can adjust this rectangle however you want after the fact. I'm going to take my artboard and I'm going to make it a little bit bigger, just so that way whenever we create the drop shadows, it doesn't get cut off by the edge of the artboard. So if I want to create the drop shadows on the border, all I gotta do is click on it and go down here to effects. This will open up, go to outer shadow, check mark. I'm going to increase the opacity a little bit, increase the radius and the intensity, and then the offset is going to go over here. And then you can play around with all of these metrics. I think something about like this is going to be what I want. Like I said, this is up to you. Make it your own. Get creative with it. All that really matters is the general idea. Okay, and so this is step 1. Step 2 is to copy this, paste it again. And then what we're going to do is we're going to go down into the effects again, turn off the outer shadow, click close, and then come up here and switch around the stroke for the fill. Make the fill solid white. Then what we're going to do is you're going to hide the stroke from before. And then what you're going to do is you're going to rename the white rectangle mask, and you're going to rename the red border border. This is easy. And what you'll do, just save those to your computer, and now open up After Effects. It doesn't have to be After Effects. This can be any motion graphics platform. It could be Resolve, which is completely free. I'm not super knowledgeable into Resolve's motion graphics yet, but if you would like some cool tips and stuff, I know Patrick Sterling is a really good YouTube channel for that. But if you have After Effects, you can follow along with me on this. Now what you'll need to do though is you'll need to get the dimensions of this video. Essentially what you can actually do is just grab the artboard. So we can see that it's 1828 by 455. That's going to be the size of the composition in After Effects. So name the composition feed background and then make the width and height a little bit bigger than the white rectangle that you made before, or your artboard size if that already applies. Then what we're going to do is we're going to change the duration to about 15 seconds. And then we're going to click OK. Now, this is your composition. As you can see, it's about the same size as what we were working in Affinity. So what we're going to do is we're going to go to Layer, New, Solid, and we're just going to, it can be named whatever you want. Just click OK. It's going to go ahead and just fill in this space for you. Okay, and then next, we're going to go up to Layer, New, Solid again, but this time we're going to call this Particles. And this is going to go on top of your other solid that you made. So then what you'll do is you'll come up to this effects search and look up particle world, and we're going to take it, drag it onto your particles solid. And then you can play around with these particles. You can make them look however you want. I think for this one, we're going to go with the old triangle design that I used to have. I think in mine, I had them floating up, but in this one, I'm actually going to make them rain down. So what we're going to do is we're going to come over here to the particles, and we're going to change the birth rate to 0.1. That's going to make these a lot smaller. Then what we're going to do is we're going to go down to particles, change it from a line over to tri-polygon. As you can see now, it's the shape we want, but there's still a long way to go. So I'm going to change the longevity up to 3 seconds so it lasts a lot longer, as well as we can change the speed and it won't just die out super fast. I'm going to go over to producer and change the radius to be a lot wider, and I'm going to change the position to be up. So now it's kind of raining down, and we can play around with some of these numbers like the birth rate and increase that just a little bit. If we go under the physics, we can actually change the velocity to be a lot lower, as well as gravity can go down a lot as well. So the gravity will be the main thing that'll determine the falling speed. So I actually kind of like this really, really slow raining kind of vibe that we're getting off of this. So what I'm gonna do is I'm actually gonna raise it up just a little bit more, as well as widen it out. Come down here and change the colors if you want. I know we were going for red, so I can probably change it to be red on red, and now it'll kind of match your theme. So as you can see, as this is running, it's going to hit the end of this timeline. And once it gets about to this point, as you can see, it's just gonna cut off, and that'll look really bad if it's on your stream. So what we're going to do is we're going to smooth it out just a little bit. We're going to take your initial particle piece of the video. We're going to drag it this way to about the 11-second mark. And what we're going to do is we're actually going to extend the end. So it's going to be 4 seconds longer. So the whole video will be 19 seconds. However, 4 of those seconds will be off the screen. So the first 4 seconds are going to be off screen before the video even starts, but that's going to be when the particles are starting to spawn and reach into the actual video area. Then what we're going to do is we're going to copy your particles, paste your particles, and then we're going to move this forward to the 11-second mark. So that way we will have the video of these particles spawning in, fading in at the same time of the actual video fading out. So it'll be a smooth transition, and it won't really be super noticeable at all that there's a video looping. What you'll do next is you'll set the opacity here to 0%, and then we're going to go to like 13.5 seconds or so. And we're actually going to change the opacity here with a keyframe to 100%. Make sure you click this little stopwatch here that enables keyframes. We're going to kind of do the same thing on the upper particle layer as well, except it's going to be slightly reversed. So make sure your timeline is set to 11 seconds at the same time the other one's starting. Set opacity to 100% and then go to the end of the timeline here and go down to 0%. So that way this is fading out as the other one is fading in. So now it'll look more like something like this. And as you can see, it didn't just cut into a brand new video. It was a smooth, seamless transition. So now that we have this, what we're going to do is we're going to go up to File, Export, add to Adobe Media Encoder Queue. This might take a second, but it'll appear right here as soon as it's finished loading. So what you want to do is you want to change the format, make sure that it's H.264. That'll be an MP4. And then for the presets, what you can do is you can actually just click on it right here. If you have a preset set, you can use that. Otherwise, you can follow along. I'm going to go through each of the settings that are relevant. So make sure export video is checked. You don't have any audio in this, so audio is relevant. You can just uncheck that if you want. It doesn't really matter. Next, you'll go to the video tab here, click match source. That'll make the video the same size as whatever it was in After Effects. Then you'll scroll down, VBR 2 pass. Target bitrate, you can have it be about 15, maximum bitrate about 20. That setting doesn't matter too much. And then maximum render quality, check mark that down here. Then you click OK. And then you can click on here to change the file path wherever you want the file to be saved. Once you have your file location set, you can click the play button and it will export the video. This should only take like a minute or two. So while that is exporting, we're going to go ahead and set up this. What we're going to do once OBS is open, you'll go to your IRL scene and it's going to be empty at this point. At least from the tutorial, you can apply it to whatever setup you currently have. We're going to add video capture device, and we're going to use old faithful, the C920. Okay, and I'm actually going to change some of these settings so that way it's the same resolution that I use for my camera. Let's say this is my webcam and I want to set up that thing I had before. I don't know whether I'm looking at this camera now or this camera now, but it's fine. What we want to do next is create a new scene. We'll call this one IRL Extras, and I'm actually going to put a bracket with an NS inside of it, so that way I know in my list that this is a nested scene. Now in IRL Extras, we're going to stick our video in here. So we're going to go plus media source. We're going to call this feed background. Okay, and once you select the video that you want for the background, whatever you exported out of After Effects, you'll stick it in here. Make sure that you click loop. You can actually do this if you want. You can like lower the speed so that way it doesn't reset as often, but it's really up to you and however you want. Close file when inactive, restart playback when source becomes active, and then you can uncheck show nothing when playback ends and push OK. Now you see this little video here. We're gonna stick it like right there, I think. Okay, so now what we need to do, go back to Affinity real quick. I just realized I did something kind of wrong. Don't worry, you didn't waste time because you need this still. Anyways, so what we're going to do is you're going to create an artboard and make it 1920 by 1080 or whatever the canvas size is of your scene in OBS. And you're going to take this mask, paste it into here, and then you can kind of arrange this however you want. Make sure you're holding Shift and Control whenever you are resizing it so that way it keeps the same size. But we're going to go down here and we're going to put it like right there. Once you have this placed exactly where you want it, what I need you to do is create a rectangle right here. That'll be behind the mask, and you'll want this to be white, and then come over here and change the mask to black. Then export this as your mask. So what you'll do now is you will come to C920, filters, add, image mask blend, okay, browse, mask, select. And now, as you can see, we have this little blanked out area that's now cut out from our video. See, nothing here, cut. That's a mask for you. We'll go to scene, IRL extras, and this will have that video we created earlier. And this is going to go here. And I'm actually going to drag it down. And as I can see, this is still a little bit off. So I'm going to drag it down just a tad. Go back to IRL. There we go. And now we have the little video thing right here. Next up though, what we need is that border like I told you earlier. So I'm gonna go to image. We're gonna call this feed border, add the border. Okay. Now that this is here, we can now size this
to be exactly the size that we want. This might take a little bit of finagling, a little bit just to kind of get it exactly where you want. What I like to do is I like to use full screen projector and full screen to see exactly like if it's on or off. And as I can see, it's a little bit off still. And there we have it. We have our little own rotating border feed, everything that goes around it. But now we need the actual rotating metric itself. You can find this metric feed at the Alpha Gaming Discord. I'll put a link to it down in the description below. They have a bunch of free assets that are really awesome. If you go to the free design channel there, you can find the link for the widget for Stream Elements, and then just copy that browser source into your little feed. If you're curious on how to do that, just go to your IRL scenes plus browser and call it feed, whatever you want, and then you'll make this size whatever the size needs to be. So once you paste the Stream Elements link in right here, you can adjust the width and the height to be kind of what you need. We'll just play around with it until we get it. Once we have this feed here, if we go back to the IRL scene, you can see it now is in here. So if you actually want to use Studio, you can use Studio to see exactly where it's going to be side by side, making it really easy to adjust. So now we have it like this, and I just copied the main one over from my channel. So yeah, that is my rotating feed. That is how I made it. That's how you guys can make it. If you guys do end up making one, try to give it a little twist. Make it your own. Do something that I haven't thought of yet. And if you do, upload it to Twitter and tag me at PSYRIK TV. I would love to see what you have come up with. And that is how I made my rotating feed that caught the attention of Harris Senpai. If you guys liked the video and want to see me do something like this again in the future, let me know. Hit like below. Let me know that this super long hard work video was worth it. I hope you guys really did find it helpful. Let me know in the comments below if you plan on using this. If you have any other questions though, you can actually ask me live. I go live on Twitch 3 nights a week. Link will be in the description below. I love you all. I hope you found this video helpful. I will hopefully get back into a more consistent upload schedule soon. But until the next video, I will see you next time. Peace.